Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Huddle, your weekly playbook where we help you maintain forward progress in your career. Paul is not with us today, so he can't introduce us, but we're coming straight out of Grand Rapids, Michigan,
Straight out of Grand Raggedy.
and had a hope you guys had a good weekend. We had both of us had a weekend full of baseball.
Yeah, mine was a week full of baseball starting last week, Wednesday, and then getting back really super late Sunday, and then trying to make the most of it. But playing catch up as always.
You don't need to go out of town for a week to do that.
No, to fall behind. No, no, just need to set work aside for a day, and then I'm a week behind.
That's all it
That's what it
takes.
seems like anyway. Isn't it?
It's one of those things where it's like a tangent, right? Someone, hey, can you do this for me real quick? And then it leads into, all right, and then half your day's gone.
Yeah. Well, that's typically what happens here day to day anyway. Get a lot of help me with this phone calls, and then it just keeps backing me up. But that's life. I gotta learn how to ignore my phone like others do, and just be like, "Oh, I didn't know. So sorry, did not know." What's today's topic? Today is your name on the door, reputation, legacy, and craftsmanship. I mean, I think
Yes,
we
sir.
like any topic we touch on this quite a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think we should shout out some sponsors real quick before we go along. So Divergent Adhesives, amazing adhesives. We we've used them. They're in our office. We
mhm.
take them on job sites.
One day I'm going to be ready for that. I have his sticker right here.
I had it somewhere too. NAFCT, National Association of Floor Covering Technicians. And I really like the way that the NAFCT went from installers to technicians and really kind of set you apart when you're at a higher level.
Yeah, it was right there. I don't know where it is.
And then make sure that you're going to check out Pro Installer Magazine. I know a lot of people, we were talking about if they still do print or not, but we still do see it at like all surfaces and stuff, right? So they've got to do at least a little bit. And I don't know. That's kind of where I got my jump into just reading the magazines and then
Hmm.
realizing, hey, I don't know as much as I thought I did. So
Well,
great
no,
resource out there.
it is. There's a lot of information in that magazine, and we've always gotten it for free, right? At a distributor,
Yeah, I
like,
think they just set them out there.
yeah. And plus, as much as we love technology and embrace technology, I don't think like the written or printed word is going to go anywhere anytime soon. Um, at least for the next decade or so, I don't see that going anywhere.
I don't know. It's becoming less and less, but it's still there for the people that love it. Nick asks if we have a showroom, and we are a commercial contractor, so we do not have a showroom. We have an office that you can come and take a look at the sample books, but we don't have a legit showroom.
Not
And
yet.
then Mario is on Instagram. He says, I have no name in this trade, and coming from the guy that's name is Floor God, which I actually took a picture with this and I forgot to post it, but I was gifted with this guy right here at Surfaces. So shout out to Floor God. Appreciate you, bro. We do want
Trying to
to
make sense
organize
of
your
my
windows
screens
and
here.
stuff.
What's that?
Organizing your windows.
Yeah, because I don't want the volume to start popping through. I'm used to being on the computer. Right now, I'm on the tablet, the iPad, so I can actually use my
Oh,
screen instead of just watching the little bitty screen. You know what I mean? I'm learning. I'm learning.
many small time make big time.
Many.
So I did put this little this ticker up here, and I asked the same questions on the social channels where I was sharing it, but it's like your name on the door. When people hear your company's name, what do they think of? And I think we've been pretty, I don't want to say lucky, right? Because we've worked hard at getting our name to where it's at, but
We've been fortunate.
yeah, and that job kickoff that I went to last week, he was
For
gone, so
me,
it was actually one of his projects. But I went over there, and that's one of the things that they were pushing out was, you guys are here because of the quality that you guys produce, and not necessarily because you're the lowest price, right? And I don't know if they would actually share if we were the lowest price or not, but it's one of those things where it's a high profile project and they can't have things going wrong. It just it sucks to say that we've been on projects where, especially lately, where it's happened like that, and not with us, but just in general.
yeah. And it's if you look back at all the years it took to even build the trust up, to be entertained at the door, right at their door. Um, I mean, 20 plus years, dude. 20 plus years of shaking a hand and saying yes, and trying to always do the right thing. And because of where we started to where we're at now, right? We weren't always in sales. We didn't always provide, but 20 plus years of labor and install, and then transitioning over, I can see where they would be a little reluctant at first, right? But over the past year and a half, 2 years, we've helped other companies out, and it didn't go unnoticed.
Yeah. Rollins says that to him, his name is everything. You
I
want
feel that.
people to bring you up and always be that person that they're referring, because I mean in business itself that referral is worth its weight in gold, and that's why networking is so important to actually. And it sucks sometimes because it's like you said earlier, it takes 1 hour to fall behind on something that you were already doing, and then can literally hear your fart, dude.
I didn't even hear what you said.
You didn't hear what I said?
No,
I said we can literally hear your fart.
I wasn't farting. Cleaning that
But
off.
to take your time out of your day and go to some of these networking events, but the more and more that you show up, the better it solidifies your name, and it gets people, at least that I've seen, where they see you and they're like, I really want to work with you because this person says you're great and this person says you're great, and you keep on showing up to these things. and it's just something that you got to do sometimes in order to build that name.
And so let's start at the beginning. Like when we started working, and there was something that was said to me a very long time ago, and it was by Ray. The first guy I ever worked with. We were I was still fairly new, and we were getting a lot of work done, a lot of carpet, right? And I think I forget exactly where we were working, but then the base started going up, and I wasn't trusted with the base yet. I was still, fairly new, and it didn't look good, but I didn't notice it because I was still new. And he said, "We're gonna have to fix all that base." And then the ride home, he was like so mad about it, and he just said, "We can have perfect floors and do everything perfect on the floor, and as soon as we put up the base, and if the base looks like crap, the job looks like crap, right? Because that's the finishing touch. If your finishing touch looks less than acceptable or subpar, then the project's gonna get picked apart." And that's, I guess, that where I was going with that is that's the same thing as the reputation. And I put a note down, um, 20 years of hard work lost by compounding mistakes, right? Not necessarily us, but it could happen. And I've seen it happen. Um, and that's where putting your brand and your name, well, let's not say your brand, right? Let's just say your name, your hard work and what you've been striving for. You put all that effort into, um, not necessarily building a reputation, but earning trust across the board, right? Earning trust through the trade partners, and it doesn't really take much to lose that trust, right? It doesn't take much, and then you're on, putting out fires for a little bit to try to maintain that trust, right? But now it's one of those things where they're always going to be looking over the shoulder, making sure that everything's going well until they can legitimately trust you without feeling like they're babysitting.
Right,
And
and
and I
that's one
think
of the notes that I had too was the trust factor, right? It's can I trust them? And it's not just in business, right? Because it's everything. It's if I can't trust you, why do I even want you here?
the other thing is, you want me to trust you with more, but I can't even trust you with what little I'm already asking of you. So I mean, people help build their name. We didn't do it by ourselves, Daniel, right? I don't think anybody does it by themselves. And thankful for everyone who's helped us who's helped us earn trust, because we've had to lean on, our crews, our people, um, more often than not, to help maintain a project, or our reputation, or to help remedy situations. So thankful for everyone that's definitely helped us. Um, my apologies for being an asshole sometimes about it, but when we start veering from what the expectations that we built for ourselves, um, definitely got to address it. Sometimes it's not always the nicest way, but it's pretty consistent, I would say. Pretty
Right.
consistent as far as stepping in and intervening, and making corrections and saying this is unacceptable. Just sometimes it's a little, like you said, high profile, right? Sometimes we're on a high profile project. What we call high profile, or consider that we don't have that type of flexibility, man. Um, I don't know how else to explain that besides, yeah, be on top of your game almost all the time. And if you're not, hopefully the crew that you're with is helping you stay up, and holding you accountable, and making sure that those standards are maintained.
Right. Yeah, Rollins says he does every job as if his wife's going to come look at it. because believe him, she will. She doesn't think looks right.
And that's awesome, right? Like maybe that's what we all got to do is we all gotta put ourselves in those type of shoes where if so and so was coming behind me, what would they find? um, I was always that person. I tried not to be, but I guess it's easy to spot it.
Yeah,
No
and
shortcuts.
we're those. That's why one of our core values is integrity, right? You got to do the right thing all the time. And if you look at something and there's a line, right, where it's like you can say, yeah, that'll pass, but then at the same time, is it to our standard? And if the answer is no, then guess what? That isn't going to pass. Do it again.
Right. It's yeah, that should pass. I don't like that. I like the of course that's gonna pass.
Right. And that kind of brings us to Nick's question right here is where does most of the margin loss stem from in your business? And I think that what we're talking about now is kind of where that is the rework
Hmm.
is you know stupid decisions to leave stuff that doesn't look like it should, thinking that it's going to pass, and then having to go back on either punch lists or you're already off the job and you have to go back. And people don't realize that, man, it's not just, hey, I'm going to go take care of this real quick. It's, hey, you got to come here and then you got to grab the stuff and then you got to load it up. Then you got to drive the vehicle over to the job, unload everything, go in there, do the work, load everything back up, drive back over here, unload everything again. It's like it's not just a quick 10 minutes in and out type of deal. And that kind of that kind of rework just eats that bottom dollar so fast.
It does. It sure does. And it's funny. That's actually one of my lines, one of my notes is, does anyone really care like the owner? Right? I'm just gonna have to say no. I'm just gonna have to say no. And the reason is that
They're not the
we
owner.
well, yeah, well, they're not the owner, but he. How do I put this? When I wasn't an owner, when I wasn't the person who paid all the bills, I still felt like it was my responsibility to make sure that whomever I worked for was profitable, right? Because I felt like if they were profitable and if I made sure that they were profitable, I made it harder for them to say no when the time came for, a bump, a review, a raise, or asking for a vacation, like stuff like that. Like I tell my son all the time, and why don't you just make it hard for me to say no to things? So, but that's always been my mindset, right? I was a what they call it entrepreneur, right? Not an entrepreneur, an entrepreneur. I always knew that I represented myself at the end of the day, and I wanted to make sure that I was an asset. And unfortunately, with all the freebies that the government tries to give everyone and the way that they make it seem, and then all the inflation, it's, the sad truth is that it's getting harder and harder to find people like that. Um, we're not we're not creating a mindset of earn what you want. We're creating a mindset of take what you want, and if you don't like it, then go somewhere else and take it. And that's where the bottom dollar is escaping is like I'll get that later, right?
Well, I think some of it stems from so I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about, there are people seeing the pricing that they're giving out, and then automatically they come back and like, I'm not getting paid enough. And it's
Yeah,
like, well, why don't you think you're getting paid enough when yesterday you were fine? And they're like, well, now that I've seen the numbers, it's like, well, yeah, you've seen the numbers, but do you also see these expenses? And then not only that, it's, we told you that we were going to invest in this and this and this and this. And you were like, yeah, this is what I want. And now, if we give you that money, there is nothing left to invest into anything else. Like they look at that dollar figure and then want more, and then don't realize, all right, well, okay, well, if I pay you everything and then the van breaks down and I have no money to fix the van, you're not going to pay for it. Where's that money going to come from?
right.
But
That
it's one
goes
of those
that
things. I mean, the and we can probably do another episode on Gen Z and how their mindset is too, right? Where it's not, I'm gonna prove myself to, so that way you think that I'm worth what I'm worth. They come in to pay me what I think I'm worth, and then I'll work up to that.
well, I think that's where society is just kind of developing that mindset, right? And it's gonna it works good for large companies, who employ many people and um, operate off of volume. I would say, and it might be easier to accommodate that if you operate off of volume. Um, but we're still fairly small, so it's hard to see past. The backlog doesn't reflect that of a company that operates off of volume. I'll just say that.
And then
Still
Jimmy
kicking and
says,
scratching for what we have.
he says that that's what sets us apart. Not everyone thinks of making sure the owner is profitable. I always thought that when working for someone else, not all have that mentality. We are where we are because of that mentality.
It's honestly, it's hard to think any other way, brother. But Jimmy, I just can't ever imagine that, dude. I worked at fast food restaurants, and I still had that mindset. I always felt I wasn't working hard enough, and I was always like the youngest person, the manager who was too young, right? That's what they called me everywhere I worked.
Well, and you
Um,
look at it from a sports perspective, right? And that's when I tell people, they're like, putting your kids in sports is worthless and stuff. And I'm like, man, when you see someone that comes from a sports background working compared to someone that's not from a sports background, it's like crazy different, right? Where it's like they're there to get the stuff done. Okay, I'm done. What do you need me to do next? Nothing. All right, I'm gonna take off then. When the other mentality is, oh, this is what you want me to do? I can for sure take 8 hours to do these three things. But I mean, that's a reputation that you give yourself, business aside. It's a personal reputation that you're going to have. I mean, just look at social medias, right? There's on Facebook plenty of people that will come on and be like, I'm looking for a job. Is anyone hiring? And then 2 weeks later, I mean, first they'll announce that they got a job. And then 2 weeks later, hey, I'm looking for a job. Who's hiring? And it's like, bro, after so many times, you think that I would actually stick my neck out for you and be like, yeah, you should hire this person that's had 42 jobs in the past 18 months.
yeah. So you just I wanted to Google this real quick while you're talking about it. It says 94% of C-suite positions of women, 94% of women in C-suite positions um, were they competed at a collegiate level in sports. Like I don't think that happens on accident. 80% of female Fortune 500 CEOs were also former athletes. 68% of the top CEOs, not limited to women, participated in collegiate sports, with track and field being one of the most common. right? So track and field, they're not only healthy, but their mental is very strong too. They have to have a long term mindset. Um, so I mean, that information is readily available for anyone with Google, and I don't think that that happens on accident. And and maybe that's what it is for me, dude. Like, I know that you didn't do sports like through school, right? You did, but you still competed, right? Just not
Band.
necessarily in a sport. But and maybe it's just the competition is what it should fall back on. People who are more competitive by nature, that's going to carry into their career. Um,
Well, I think when you're talking about that competitiveness, it's not really competing against other people either. It's competing against yourself, right? And like
yes,
when people ask me about band and I'm like, yeah, they went to festival and got a first division. They were like, oh, who are they competing against? I'm like, no one. It's them against the music.
yeah, yeah. Can how well can you execute
Right.
these sheets, right? Or, well, and you don't even get sheets, right? See, I didn't go that far. I stopped like
Well,
I stopped
yeah,
because I got kicked out of
there there's
school
a
a
there's a
bunch.
sight
But
reading portion where they give you a piece of music that you've never seen before, and then you get 5 minutes to prepare, and then you got to play it.
it's go time. And
So Rollin asked, when we started, what was the one thing we did to enhance your company and name?
we put the color blue in it. I don't,
I mean, that is one of the first things. I mean, because before we even started anything, when we were having our logo designed, our cousin did our logo and he designed a bunch of different colors. And then I just went back to him and I said, we got to do something with blue, man. Like all these reds and stuff I just ain't feeling it.
yeah, everything was red and black, and orange. We went royal blue. You know what? And it's funny you asked that, Rollins. So like our first logo was preferred flooring, and it was Saturn, right? Like it was, and I don't know, Daniel, you can pull it up and share it, but and somebody asked me, oh, that's a pretty cool logo, right? Looking at it now, it's like, man, that was a little rough around the edges, right? But whatever, 15, 16 years ago, it wasn't. It was still, it was different. I remember somebody asking me, oh, why'd you choose that? And I didn't really have an answer, so I just shot from the hip. I was like, oh man, because that's Saturn, dude. Sometimes, sometimes in life you gotta shoot for the stars. Um, and I know that in that process we have to shoot past Saturn. So just came up with a line of something like that, right? Like that's the OG right there. And I tell you what, our first uniform shirts, ugh, bro.
But I think one of the biggest things that we did to set ourselves apart was we're just reinvest everything that we had. We had no choice because we didn't want to keep on looking like the people that we started out as. It was always a growth factor to things. So, all right, well, it was early on. It was as little as we need a new shop vac. Shop vac's only
Two
$200-300,
hundred
right?
bucks.
But it's a huge expense when you're first starting out.
Yeah, I think. Well, that was the thing too. Is if we're looking at what we were trying to build, is we looked at all the companies that were finding success that were around us, and it was the companies that looked like they were investing in their equipment, their tools, right, themselves. Um, so we tried to, I don't want to say copy that, but we wanted to make sure that we were making it easy for us to get projects done, making it easier for us as a 2 or 3 man crew, um, to get larger projects done. And That's a small scale volume. Is that we were very small, only a few people, but we were doing very large scale projects. So we didn't have a lot of time to waste. We didn't have a lot of cushion. So yeah, we had to reinvest into better equipment, better tools, um, to get the job done. I don't want to say faster, right, but to make it easier for less people to get it done. So essentially, yes, it did make it go faster for the amount of people. And then as the crews got bigger, we acquired more tools that worked, and yeah, we became more proficient. I think that's what we did is we did our best to become more proficient. I would
Yeah,
say
and then
efficient, but that didn't
you know
come until we got experience.
your name's doing pretty good when one of the another local company comes out with a logo that looks almost like yours. I remember people seeing these vans around. They were like, "Man, we thought that was you guys," and I had to take a double look at the name.
Yeah,
Jimmy says Blue Crew installation. So Jimmy's from Michigan. He's a Michigan fan. So I do have the hoodie that you gave me hanging up right there.
I know. I should took it. It's all
Nah.
good. Nah, bro, that's not what we do.
So Nick asks, since we're working in commercial and we get the specs directly, how often do we see them provide a full scope with all the details needed for an accurate flooring estimate? And I think, I
Well,
mean, I'd say most of the time it's not bad.
are you talking about for like in the specifications off of the drawings and stuff like that?
Yeah, like the entire package. I'm guessing,
Oh,
Nick, unless I'm wrong, but
so they're pretty close, and I think it's generalized, right? But if you're looking at it, I like we know that they drag and drop from a database, and sometimes it is outdated, and you got to catch and correct. But if you're talking about like if we were doing the install and we that way, like we are the ones that provide that information um, for our employees, and sometimes we have to. I don't want to say sometimes, all the time. I have to reread specs because if something changes, I need to know. Same thing Daniel does. Like if Daniel finds something out, he's like, "Hey, dude, did you know that this changed? Did you know that they're no longer
well,
making this adhesive?"
it's not just that, it's just the specs in general, right? Because you'll get um I got one right now where it's very vague on everything that they want, and then all they do is put make sure you got all the transitions and everything needed to complete the project.
Yeah, I mean
At
that's
least they
typically what
put
it
that note
is.
in there, right?
Yeah, or like what do they have? Be sure to use Schluter transition. Okay, like I'm just choosing the one then. Like you want TK? Like what do you want me to use there, right? Or you want me to ramp it? You want me to just use a sheen? But like you just got to guess at that point and hope you guess right. But functionality is what I typically choose function over aesthetics, and I'm wrong most of the time on that. But I want to make sure that our edges are protected.
And just I think going back to Rollins' question too is one thing that we always offered was a little bit extra, right? Where you got guys that'll go into places and then they won't clean up. Like that's not my job. Well, it becomes your job, right? Like I'm not the construction cleaners. Yeah, but you just made a mess, so wipe that down real quick. Um, I mean,
You
we
know
were
what?
on a project where a commercial project, and we brought our own air scrubbers and stuff, and they were walking through, and they were like looking like, "Are these your air scrubbers?" I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh," like I was like, "Yeah, I." I don't care about your project that much, but I do care about the health of my guys. So, like, I
Yeah,
know it looks like a really good thing that I'm trying to help you guys out when really we're doing it for us.
right. And not only that, right? Like, what goes up must come down. We started eliminating X percentage of the dust that's in the air, and that's less dust that settles and some of the adhesives that we have to have open time on. Um, and also, I want to go back to what Rollins said, and it just made me think of something else. Rollins, the thing that Daniel and I both consciously did to set us apart from the beginning, it didn't have anything to do with logos or tools or vans. We were straight up honest with everybody and with ourselves. Can we can we comfortably say yes to this deadline? Can we comfortably say yes to this install? Is this even feasible? Is it doable?
Well,
Um,
and if we did agree to something, if we were like, yes, we can make that happen, guess what? We were working 20 hours a day until we made it happen sometimes.
yep, yeah, and that we were men of our word, regardless of how much sleep we didn't get, regardless of hours. If we said yes and we had setbacks, our yes was our bond. Like we didn't let anybody down, Rowan. We did let people down, but it was our family. We didn't let any clients down, I would say. We let our family down as far as time being spent. We said no to a lot of family events. We made the decision to put work first for a few years, and yeah, it was shitty. It was, and sometimes work still comes first for a lot of things, to be honest with you. But
It's easier these
it's
days though with the way that you can work remote and stuff, right? Where
yeah.
I mean, one of the bigger projects that we got when we were trying, trying to sell more, be full service, I won when I was in the Bahamas. And then this last go in during this spring break, I was down there and doing post bids from Florida.
Hmm.
And they're like,
Different position.
you sure you wanna do this right now? And it's like, yeah, man, my kids are asleep. Let's
And Daniel subbed in for me because I was going to do my best, but I would have had to try to find parking with the camper, and my son would have been with me. I mean, it would have been very professional. Probably not, but they moved the meeting, and I was in the clear for the other one, and then I started got closer. And I'm like, I didn't realize I'm supposed to be leaving that morning. Like it didn't dawn on me until the Sunday before. It's like, dang.
and I think like going back to that was a good question, Ronald, because we can talk about this, right? That's what a lot of people need to know anyways. It's um doing more than we were billing for because we already had relationships with the guys that we were doing the work for. So it was like, I know you don't have that much into this, but if I skip this 1 hour or 2 hours of prep right here, it's not going to be right. So I'm just going to do it. That way we can keep it moving.
All right, we all look bad. We all look bad if it doesn't pass, right? It's not just us looking bad to whom we're doing the work for, or them looking bad to the general contractor. It's we all look bad, and I don't like to look bad. I did not like that. And I remember when we worked at Superior, Dave Behrens had asked me, when you're out there, you represent us, blah blah blah. I'm like, you're absolutely right. I do 100%. So, but I also represent myself. And he's like, well, you can't be like that. I'm like, no, I have to be like that because if I'm just gonna go out there and believe that I only represent your company, right? That means that I don't take pride in what I do on a personal level. I don't take pride in my work. I want to take pride in my work because of what it represents for me. And then I'll go out there and work and do it for you. And because it means more to me personally, it's going to reflect on you and your business as well. Right. He just kind of looked at me like, but I was like really speaking from the heart, trying to like, dude, like it means a lot to me to do a great job. I want it to keep meaning a lot to me. Right. And if it always means a lot to me, guess what? I work for you. You will benefit from that, brother. Like,
Yeah,
I
and I
promise
think
you
that's
will.
why, you know, looking back on it, we parted ways from working with some of the other flooring companies because they came in and said, just do it. We don't care what's going to happen. They just need it done. And it's like, this is when we were doing a lot of schoolwork. And it's like, I can't do that to the school because to just try and make them think that everything's going to be okay until that year warranty is up, then it's going to be like, oh, now we got to charge to come fix whatever should have been done right in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we just get a phone call from a project we did almost 4 years ago, right? We just had a very quick conversation
Six
and
years
said,
ago, wasn't it?
no, 2023. Yeah, 3 years. Well, it was going to be almost 4 years ago, but very quick conversation. And he's like, what'd you say? Let's just take care of it. Like, we're just going to do it. Just fix it. Let's just fix it. So we're going to fix it. Right. Are we past our labor warranty? Yeah. Do we know what's going on? Nope. I can speculate by pictures, but I haven't visited the site yet. I can almost tell you what's going on just by the pictures, but it don't matter. We want to build a lasting and maintain lasting relationships, so we'll just take care of it. And that's that integrity thing, Roland. That being honest, right? Being honest with ourselves, and I can try to nickel and dime everybody if they call me back for repairs and stuff that we've done, even if it's their fault that things have failed. But you know, I'm in a different position now than I was when I might have done the install through another company years ago, or we're trying to maintain because we do have a lasting relationship. Um, and that's where all of that stems from. I just tell people all the time, if I wouldn't put it in my mom's house, I'm not going to put it in yours, right? The stuff we put in my mom's house is still there, still lasting. Would I, will I do things different now? Yeah, I sure would. Technology's changed since we've done it. You know, they learned a couple more things.
We learned a couple more things. We learned pressure sensitive is going to let the LVT shrink when it's by the windows.
Yeah, at a much faster rate. Yeah, it's all good.
But I
We live,
think,
we
I
learn.
mean, the one of the bigger things is when we were going into these projects. And one that really stands out, and you got to remember, we were labor only for a long time. And these companies are, now calling us to do these projects. And there was one of our first projects was I was doing a bunch of herringbone LVT, and you know, the the guy on site, the GC, came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I need you to do half of this at a time." And I said, "I can't." He's like, "Oh no, you're going to do half of this at a time." And I said, "Okay." And then he walked away, and then I caution taped everything off and did everything at the same time. And by the time he came back to check on everything, it was already done. And he was like, "You really just did all that?" I was like, "Yeah, I told you I couldn't do it half at a time."
Yep, I already know what project and everything too, because wasn't you talking about the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
And some of that is because people don't understand the process, right? They don't understand that, like, if we start and we stop on something like that, especially when the floor is doing this and we have a lot of cuts. It's not a, let me just slap some glue down and plug these pieces in. There's a lot more
It's
to
a
it, right? You got to lay it, you got to space it, you got to scrape the adhesive off, or straight and dry lay everything, trace it, and then glue to it. Like, there's a lot more work involved, especially when you're doing long runs like that. Every time
and
I hear, think of that, I think of him, I think of O'Shea Hennessy, the skip from Key and
Oshak,
Peele.
Tennessee.
Yeah, O'Shea Hennessy.
But yeah, I mean, then on another project we were on, it wasn't anything that we did, but it was the concrete was pretty out of whack, and I'm helping him troubleshoot things that's not even in our scope. And he's like, do you think that this concrete's ready? And I said, no. Well, how do you know? I said, it's half inch different from where I'm standing and where you're standing. This dude went and got a straight edge and measured, and it was exactly a half inch. I probably couldn't do that again if I wanted to. And
No,
he just was like, how the hell did you do that? I was like, dude, it's just, and there's no other way to explain it than I can just feel it with my feet.
dude. So remember when I tell people, they're like, "Why do you keep dragging your feet?" And I was like, well, I wasn't not dragging my feet when I walk a job for the first time. I do I drag my heels when I'm walking, and I don't know. I'm weird like that, I guess, but I drag my heels, and you can, and when you do that, you can feel everything, right? And you tell people, like, all right, well, that's the low side, that's the high side. And sometimes you can visually see it depending on who's doing the um like the millwork and stuff like that, or the carpentry, right? Because they're going to go straight or level, like, and scribe. But yeah, that's that experience there, right? That long term experience where walk around like an old man, shuffle a little bit, trip over some high spots, mentally, or make those mental notes so you can remedy it. Hey, check that out right there. It felt a little high to me, or check those control joints out. Um, we might have to get the grinder, or for sure go get the grinder.
Yeah, for sure, go get the grinder. Don't bring Jeremy. If Jeremy was listening to this, he probably already been like, hey, go grab the grinder.
But those are the things that you practice um, when you're putting your label on it, right? Your name on it. And sometimes your name is just your name. Not everyone refers to every single installer as the floor guy, right? Oh, those are the floor guys, right? I didn't want to be called the floor guy. I wanted them to know my first name. Hey, you know, my name's Jose. We're here with, so and so that we're doing the work for. Um, that's who I represent. Oh, but it doesn't say that on your shirt. Yeah, I know it doesn't say that on my shirt, but that's who we represent, right? But I didn't leave with, hey, I'm from whatever. My name is Jose from, right? That's
So
intentional.
you know what else we did in the beginning? We wouldn't wear other people's shirts.
Correct. And man, we were asked so much, and it's just like, no,
It's like my van's pulling up. It's my people out there. We're gonna wear our stuff. If any questions are asked, yes, we're here as your partner, right? I'm not gonna, like you were saying before, I'm not gonna come in and say, "Hey, I'm with Preferred Flooring." It's, "Hey, I'm with this company," because that's who you work for, you're doing the job for. And if any questions come up, it's, yeah, we're partners. They're hiring us to do this, and that's the thing. It's with us being one of those industries that is ran on 1099s anyways, and everyone's a contractor. It it's gonna happen more often than not.
it is. And
Hey, Denise, stay safe with the storms over there. Jorge does say hose with an H instead of Jose.
Jose. Somebody's name starts with letter H. Jose. Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer. Look at the board. Good answer. Um, it's just making those introductions like that, and making sure that you're representing everybody the right way. Um, because they have a reputation too. And it wasn't that you had said something that made me think about the way I worded it. It's like we don't, I did used to say we do all of their work, right? We do, X% of their commercial work. And then another way to look at it is like you said, the partner, like, um, we are trusted to take care of this work for them. We are trusted to do this type of work. That's a relationship. It's not we do the work. It's we trust one another.
Right. And even now, there's plenty of times where we talk to other companies and they're like, man, I really wanted this project. And we've been on that side too, right? And then you talk to the people, and then it's not like, man, I really wanted that project. It's always now it's a, thanks for the opportunity for that one. I really wanted it, but didn't get it. But let me know when you got something else.
Yeah. Hey, every success is an opportunity. Every failure is an opportunity. Every mistake, anytime when you get an opportunity to go and help a fellow installer or another trade partner is an opportunity, right? It might not necessarily be an opportunity for you or your company, but it's an opportunity for you to help someone else look good, uh, to help someone else remedy something, which in turn makes the team look good. And when the team looks good, they start trusting that team, and you'll likely get called upon again, either by the general contractor, the person who hired you, a homeowner, business owner, another flooring company. Just hold yourself to if you hold yourself to a higher standard and you consistently do your best to reach and meet those standards, it gets a lot easier, and people will recognize that. And that's the end of that rant for you guys. That's where I'm coming. That's coming from a good place. That's coming from my heart. That's coming from the thought process, from day one as an employee and to an owner. That's coming from that thought process. I don't think I've ever
Well,
once
and
thought of how
it's
much
like,
can I squeeze out of these people? How much can I get? What am I worth to them? Never,
well, I mean,
never
even
once.
we talk about it all the time where I had that mindset and you set me straight pretty quick, right? And but that goes back to the whole we can have a whole podcast episode on why people think the way they do. Take it easy, Rollin. Appreciate you,
Thank you for
man.
joining.
And
Riley, we missed the meeting the other day, brother. I did
I didn't.
respond
I
via
was on the
email, but
meeting.
oh, were you?
I, yeah, I
Okay.
got yelled at for having my AI note taker on there. Rod. Actually, it wasn't
So,
Rod. It
would you
was
have the
Stika.
notes?
Yeah, I got him.
Yes. Can you send them to me so I can review that? We'll let it play in the background while I'm working. We had it. We
Oh,
were
it's
actually
not
playing a
recorded. I
game.
just have the notes.
That's fine. Yeah, but I can push read and speak.
Right.
We were actually in a game during that meeting. I forgot about the hour difference,
But yeah, I'll
but
send that over to you. But it's like, so when you were saying that, it just reminds me of, and I always go back to Simon Sinek, right? Where he's like, there's always all these books on self help, but there's no books on help other people. And when you start looking at that, and it's like, especially on jobs, and we took a long time to get there too, right? Where before it's what I need, what I need, what I need. And then once you start looking at it as everyone on that job site is there for the same reason. You all got to get the same stuff done. Then it's like, all right, electrician guy, let me get this area right now, and you can have this whole area tomorrow. And then, I mean, sometimes we do spin it in a way where it makes it seem like um, we're helping them out more, but in reality, it's like, but then I get this whole area right now, and then I don't have to worry about it later.
Yeah,
Oh,
patience, man.
he said Rollins said I didn't get yelled at. Don picked on me. Don always picks on me.
Mm.
But it is, man. You gotta look out for everyone. We're all here for the same things. You're all on the jobs to do the same
Hey,
thing for
sometimes you
your
got to give the
company.
officials. Sometimes you got to offer the officials water, right, on these hot summer days, right? Maybe they'll give you a close call in your favor.
Well, that's why you need an
Same thing for work.
Erica. You need an Erica on every team where there's a close call, and she'll be the loudest one out there. Safe, and then they'll be like they were about to go like this, and they're like yeah, Erica, keep
Yeah,
on yelling.
yeah, it's suggestive selling. Yeah, dude. Just so you know, like I think it's funny to do that, but like on every play, it gets a little annoying.
No, Erica and Tanya are great umpires.
Great parent umpires.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to be the voice of reason, and that's going to be me right now because I know that we've coming up to that hour.
Yeah,
Um,
Ashlyn. Oh, what's up, Jose?
okay,
Dude, I don't
she's the
even
voice
know
of
what a
reason.
liver stone is, but I'm so sorry that your wife is going through that because it sounds horrible.
It's like a kidney stone, but in the liver,
I don't
calcium
even,
buildup.
how do you even pass that? Like at least the kidney stone's gonna hurt you all the way out. I'm gonna have to, sorry, man. I hope she gets through that,
Yeah, for sure. Now I'm gonna have to Google it because I've never heard of that, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
right? Again, thank you guys for always joining in. Gotta give the shout out to the NAFCT. Um, just was talking to Scott. I think he was texting me yesterday about trying to get a class going. So we gotta still set that up. And then Divergent Adhesives. Thank you guys for always supporting. And then Pro Installer Magazine, man. And this is one thing where it's like they're a partner with us. We wanna to get people over there so that you guys can learn some stuff. You know, if you want to write some articles, I used to be on that side too, and then I wrote a few, and then I got too busy,
Yeah,
and
same.
I do need to start taking some more time out to put more out in the industry. But I mean, they're a great resource, and if you have that knowledge, share it there, share it here. That's why we appreciate everyone that's listening.
Yep. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down and share it and tell everybody to give us a thumbs down after you share it. Oh, wait, my tablet, does it work on here? No.
But, all right, guys, we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, everyone.